The Macau Grand Prix, the 72nd Macau Grand Prix, here around the streets of Macau. It's called the Gear Circuit, over 6 kilometres of the streets of Macau, and we are about to enjoy our first race for the FIA FR World Cup here at Macau in 2025. It's been a warm day. It's just beginning to cool at the end of the afternoon. 24 degrees, and the humidity is low for this area, 63% humidity. Track temperature 37 degrees. It's been a hot day, and here at the end of the afternoon, the final on-track action. The circuit will become the streets of Macau again at 6 o'clock local time. It's 4 o'clock local time. That gives us plenty of time to enjoy a 10-lap race around the streets of Macau. For the single-seaters, these are stars of the future, and make no mistake, every single one of them wants to experience a victory here at Macau. So many races have become so memorable here at Macau for the Macau Grand Prix, and the Grand Prix is tomorrow at 3:30 in the afternoon. For now, we're about to find out how the grid is going to line up for that Grand Prix tomorrow. And David, we have an incredible entry of talent this year.
Plenty of champions from across the regions where Formula Regional operates, plus a Euro Cup 3 champion. People from Formula 3, 1 or 2 therefore stepping across to Formula Regional cars, FR cars, others stepping up to them. And they are all in the same base car. They're all in a Tatius T318 with an Auto Technica Alfa Romeo 1800 turbo engine. One driver, Matteo De Paolo, who's recently been signed for the McLaren driver development program, given a 3-place grid drop for impeding another car yesterday. His argument was he'd hit the wall, the car was slow, but if he parked it, he knew that he would therefore bring out a red flag and cause people, after the session was stopped, not to get their final push lap in. So he thought it was probably safer to limp back to the pit lane. And the steward said, yeah, but there were opportunities to go up an escape road and park it. So nice idea, but he got a 3-place grid drop. Lots of people have been in the wall this weekend. The likes of Jose Garfias, Charlie Wirtz, Oscar Wirtz, Risa Seaworthen, Zenroy Chi, Kanato Lee, Timet Kwarchuk, Hiro Yamakoshi. They've all had incidents. This is Matteo De Paolo from yesterday. Let's see whether this is the lap on which he whacked the wall and whether or not sorry, this is now coming to the grid. Forgive me, this is the driver I was talking about with the grid drop. But Matteo De Paolo making his way down towards Lisboa. And this is the driver who gets the grid drop for today. This is the run from Lisboa up through San Francisco. You climb San Francisco Hill, and at this point, going on to the mountain section, if you like, it gets narrower, it gets twistier, and after the sharp right of maternity, it is really hard to almost remember where you are, because one left blends into another. From here on in, all the way down to the sharp right of police, you kind of lose your bearings.
It all gets a little bit vague, doesn't it? You have to be inch perfect in any kind of car that you drive around the gear circuit here at Macau. And when you're on board in a single-seater, you become very, very aware of just how inch perfect you have to be with the barriers, those iconic yellow and black barriers. You know, any time that you see a motorsport photograph and you see a yellow and black barrier in the background, you know exactly where in the world it is. It is a unique circuit. This is the right that you spoke of at Police. Very short burst up towards the right at Moorish, and then onto the left-hander here at Donna Maria. It goes on and on and on, and finally it's the blast down the hill towards the Melco hairpin. No overtaking here. A permanent yellow flag over the course of the weekend. You couldn't fit 2 cars in, even if you tried. And then you get a flashing green light on the right-hand side, which means the circuit now opens up. It's a high-speed blast down through Black Sands, down towards Fisherman's. That's the right-hander here. Things can go wrong here at Fisherman's because the speed is climbing, ever climbing, weaving the car from side to side to try and get a bit of heat into the tyres before the final turn, our bend, and the completion of a lap of the 6-kilometre gear circuit here at Macau.
135 kilometres an hour, our bend, under race conditions, but when you're coming to the grid, you back it right off. And in the case now of Matteo De Paolo, he will work his way to 12th on the grid. He drives for the R-Ace GP team, along with Enzo Deligny and Jin Nakamura. Enzo Deligny starts 5th, and Jin Nakamura a little bit further back on the grid. In fact, 14th, so the car directly behind this man, Matteo De Paolo. You see the McLaren stickers on the crash helmets and the way that they're going in Formula One this year. Not a bad Formula One team to be affiliated with. You've got Matteo Colnaghi on the grid. You'll see his car that starts 7th in the Red Bull colours. He's part of that junior programme as well. So we have...
Barry Boyer as well has recently been announced as Aston Martin young development driver as well. Correct. Very proudly walking around in that significant green top. Very proud he was.
And the Formula One team's keeping an eye on the talent, and they will continue to do so, no doubt, after this weekend, as more reputations are enhanced, because if you can master Macau, it does your career prospects no harm at all.
So this is a dress rehearsal for everybody, what to expect down on the grid. And down on the grid, very pleased to say, is Alexander Negri.
Theo has done the first part of the hard work to get into this position, but how tricky is it going to be to convert this to a win?
Well, for sure it's going to be really tricky into T3. Try to stay on the line, try to have a really good start, really good jump, and then let's see. The race is a race, so let's see how it goes. Most important race is tomorrow, so yeah, let's take this race for all learning.
Great. Bon chance, Theo.
So Theo Nile, the driver on pole position in the KCMG Enya Pinnacle Motorsport car. And Alex will stride further down the grid, see who else you might be able to find. Number 6, it is the pole position car, Theo Nile. Looking a little bit further along the front of the grid. Freddie Slater, the British driver there in the familiar Prema Racing colours, which also carries the Theodore Racing tag. And Freddie Slater, the champion out of so-called FRECA, Formula Regionale European Championship by Alpine. And the British driver was here last year in Regionale, 2 years ago in F4, and he starts as one of the favourites. Let's hear from Freddie with Alex.
Right, Freddie, you've now got an idea of the pace of Theo. I feel like what comes down to is who's got the biggest kahunas into this first corner. Is that you?
Well, I'd like to hope so. Definitely going to be getting stuck in, but obviously tomorrow's the more important race. So try and get a good start and then see how the race goes from there.
Thank you.
Freddie Slater starting on the outside of the front row of the grid. The British driver, his father, a very handy racer going back quite a few years now in Porsches, Adrian Slater. And there you can see third on the grid, the black car of Evan Gilter. That's the driver who won the Middle East Championship in the winter months. Fourth on the grid, looking down to Taito Kato, number 23. Fourth there, you can see his race number just being held on the grid board. And Kato, last year's French F4 champion. He's been one of the surprises of the weekend because he's consistently been up in the mix. Maybe never the ultimate fastest, but always, to use that phrase, there or thereabouts.
These young drivers might think that this is the hustle and bustle of a grid that they'll experience tomorrow in the build-up to the Macau Grand Prix. It's going to be this and then some tomorrow. They will never have experienced a build-up to a race anywhere near the celebration that we have ahead of the Macau Grand Prix. This a dress rehearsal for tomorrow in more ways than one.
It is indeed. Freddie Slater and Enzo Deligny have been noted for speeding in the pit lane. Let's have a quick look at the grid. Theo Nile starts on pole position from Freddie Slater. Evan Gilter is third and Taito Kato fourth. Enzo Deligny speeding in the pit lane fifth, and sixth on the grid, Marie Boyer ahead of Matteo Colnaghi and Rashid Al-Dahari. Then you've got Noah Stromstead from James Egozzi. Tasanapod and Thrapivasak starts 11th, and Matteo De Paolo is 12th ahead of Enzo Ye and Jin Nakamura. Jose Garfias comes next with the Japanese champion Hiyo Yamakoshi starting 16th. 17th, Charlie Wirtz, who had an accident yesterday. And then the Euro Formula Open champion, the Polish driver Timek Kwarczuk, who had an accident yesterday. Yuki Sano is ahead of Koyoshi Umagaki. Owen Tangavulu is next from Kanato Lee, who crashed on Thursday. Charles Leung starts 23rd, double Grand Prix winner in F4, ahead of Takaya Suzuki. Risa Seaworthen in Formula Regionale machinery for the first time. Then Cheese Henry and Oscar Wirtz, one of many who's been in the wall this weekend, starting at the back of the grid. That is Freddie Slater then. Well, he just proved he's quick in the pit lane. Needs to be quick on track as well. Theo Nale lining up alongside. This is the pole position driver. And Theo Nale has been driving in Formula 3 rather than Formula Regional this year. He did a few Middle East races at the start of the year, and the best result that he had in FIA F3, where he drove for Van Amersfoort, second at Silverstone. 8th in the championship. That is Taito Kato, starting 4th on the grid. The grid for this, incidentally, the better time you set out of the qualifying session on Thursday and a qualifying session on Friday. Not aggregated, but you took your better time. There is the car of Evan Gilter. He starts 3rd on this grid, the Middle East champion. And Evan Gilter, the driver who was French F4 champion 2 years ago, did race in Europe this year, 5th with a race win. Enzo Deligny, whose father used to race Volkswagens in China, drove to 3rd in the European Championship, and 4 victories in the course of the European Championship this season. Born in China and a French-Chinese racer. Robert Allen is the aforementioned Murray Boyer with the Aston Martin decals proudly on the visor.
Yeah, it's a proud thing, isn't it, when you're picked for a Formula One team's development, young driver development programme. And Murray Boyer, yeah, as you rightly say, just with the sunscreen on the visor of the helmet for Murray Boyer, qualifies on the outside of the 3rd row of the grid. Just Murray Boyer.
That's Rashid Al-Dakhiri in another of the Prema Theodore Racing cars. The driver who was 3rd 2 years ago here in the F4 race at Macau. Last year did the Grand Prix but was excluded. So he's eager for a slightly easier run this season. 25 is Noah Stromstedt, his Macau debut, having been racing in Formula 3 this year. He's a member of the Mercedes junior team.
And a bit of experience around the streets of Macau is worth an awful lot in whatever form of single-seater you might have had previous experience. It all adds up to give a slight advantage around the circuit. Tanazapal into Prusiak there on the grid in car number 26 on the 6th row of the grid, the inside of the 6th row of the grid, formerly racing in the UK in the British F4 Championship. Alongside the number 2 car we just rode on board with Matteo De Paolo, qualifies a little way further down on the grid than where we would expect. But once again, a proud young driver in a driver development programme, and therefore carrying a very recognisable colour on that car this weekend.
Enzo Ye aboard number 20, who was very successful in China in karts going back a few years, but has moved on to race in Southeast Asia in F4, in Italy in Formula 4, and has sort of mixed and matched his season in Formula Regional and the Euro Formula Open, which are for the same chassis but a different spec, different power output. As you see there, number 21, Jose Garfias. Last time we saw that car, it was nearly in 2, wasn't it? He had a big whack into the wall up near Eternity yesterday.
Certainly was, yeah, and you have to put those sort of moments behind you over the course of a Macau weekend if you want to succeed. And this is a really important race. Make no mistake about it. Good grid position tomorrow. Go forward, go forward. That's exactly what they need to do because a good grid position for the start of the Grand Prix is going to be absolutely vital.
That is Hiro Yamakoshi talking about going forward. And he will do so, no question. So another driver who's been racing in the European Championship. Gets set, good to go. The grid is now being cleared. They will have, of course, 1 formation lap and 10 laps for this qualifying race. Alan's made the point that this sets the grid for tomorrow. So a lot of it is really about keeping out of trouble.
Yeah, you can't really be a hero in the Saturday race. You can have a good race, and that's really good news. It sets you up nicely for the Grand Prix. But you can be, for want of a better phrase, a bit of a zero. If you hurt the car and you therefore start at the back of the grid and the team have to work to prepare the car overnight, then that really upsets, that destroys the whole of the weekend. So keep it neat, keep it tidy, keep out of trouble. And if it's a question of discretion being the better part of valour and giving a place away, then you know what, on a Saturday I would do that.
Is there a bit of a concern at the back of the grid? Mechanic there sprinting down to one car, and hopefully now off the track as the green flag is waved, but that mechanic still on the circuit at the green flag might come back to bite the team. Everybody released then, chance to get some warmth into the Pirelli tyre. That takes you through Reservoir, the first corner, and then the speed builds all the way down here through Mandarin, which, if you look at a map of the circuit, looks a bit like a kink, but it is a full-on corner, and these cars on warm tyres at race pace will be doing almost 250 kilometres an hour through here. It's
a quite incredible thought, isn't it? Not only racing, if you were in isolation, that would be a bit of a challenge, but with all these other young, hungry drivers keen to impress, keen to make their mark on this event this year, well, we're about to see how it all pans out. Weaving the cars from side to side, absolutely vital. Cold tyres, not a good thing. Really high track temperature, 37 degrees it was shown on the graphic ahead of this formation of the grid. And that's all very, very helpful to get the car tyres, everything about the cars, brakes, engine up to temperature. That's an important part of it.
It is indeed, and anybody that's got experience of Formula Regional chassis around here is going to be in a slightly more advantageous position. The team's now making their way back down the pit lane. They hope their work is done, but in one or two cases they might have a long night, because make a mistake here, you're in the wall, there's a lot of damage to be repaired. The Grand Prix tomorrow, which is the Formula Regional World Cup, is at 3:30 in the afternoon. It is the focal point, of course, of the weekend, as it carries the Grand Prix tag. It is where the drivers are introduced to the dignitaries. There's the big build-up, the lion dance, all very much part of the culture. And although you know you're in a different part of the world for a race meeting, it's only really when you get to that part with the lion dance, with all the build-up to a single-seater race, that you really appreciate how it's done in Macau.
Absolutely love it. Looking back at Mary Boyer starting on the outside of the third row of the grid, the young development driver for Aston Martin. And so many drivers with so much talent here at Macau. And you also have to have quite a nerve around the streets of Macau in a single-seater. It could all go wrong today, and it could all go incredibly right.
Well, there is the Prema Run car, Ronnie Rossin's team, operating so many different programs these days. They've always been mainstays of international Formula 3, but Formula 4, Formula Regional, into sports car racing and LMP2, into American racing as well. There's not much that Prema hasn't touched successfully over the years. And they're the red and white car of the British driver, Freddie Slater, who has not had a lot of luck at Macau. If you go back 2 years in the F4 race, he was battling with Arvin Lindblad, and his car developed some weird problem that sapped the power going up San Francisco Hill, and he fell way back into the top 10. He made a last lap move last year. It didn't work, ended up in the wall, but as he said, I had to try something. It's Macau, and nobody remembers who was second or third. I had to have a go. Is this going to be his year? Third time lucky? We'll find out. But even today only gives you half the story. The grid is formed. Really
swinging the cars to get that last little bit of heat into the tyres. And that bit could go wrong as well when you're applying that much power just to get the car to swing from side to side. Well, they've all done it exceptionally well. The maximum amount of temperature is now in the tyres, and hopefully the front row of the grid won't have to wait too long before we see a green flag at the back of the field. That means all of the cars are lined up for our qualification race. 10 laps around the gear circuit here at Macau. The last few cars slot into their grid positions. We wait for the marshal at the back. Come on, he says, encourages them to take up the final places, and that's when we'll see the green flag waved. The lights will come on and we'll get the race underway. The engine notes rise. 4 lights, 5 lights, they go out, and the race is underway.
Good getaway by Slater, and it's a better start, I think, than Teo Nail. They're going to be toe-to-toe down towards Reservoir. Slater on the inside, Evan Gilter in third, and Nail is run out wide, so Slater leads, but Gilter tries to come up on the outside line, down towards Mandarin. Good getaway by Slater. Look back, that's Teo Nail. Murray Boyer also trying to work his way up the order. Murray Boyer from 6th on the grid as they accelerate their way down now towards Mandarin, and then Lisboa for the first time. Everybody trying to break the slipstream effect of the car behind. Are they all going to survive Lisboa? This is the first pinch point. Slater leads the way. Evan Gilter is second. Boyer third. Nail on the outside of him. The leaders turn into Lisboa. So far, so good. They've all done it. They've all done it. They've all done it safely through.
Breathe again. What an amazing feat to get everyone through cleanly down at that first pinch point down at Lisboa. And you know what? Freddie Slater has done this absolutely perfectly. He's got away cleanly. He needs to get through that first corner. He was able to do so. Didn't really need to worry about what everyone else was doing just behind, because he was at the front of the field, and that's where you need to be. Front row start. He's already shown a clean pair of heels.
He has indeed. Enzo Ye was away late, I think, in number 20, and Slater, has absolutely nailed that start. Theo Nail, a bad getaway, and he has now dropped down the pack as the leaders turn their way through the mountain section of the circuit up the hill, and Freddie Slater getting away early on with two absolute bests. Let's have another look on board with Slater. Perfect launch, look at that.
Already alongside as they head down towards the first turn down at turn 1 at Reservoir. Packed grandstands either side, enjoying the start of this race. That was absolutely what he needed to do. He nailed the start.
Totally did. Freddie Slater then, Theo Nail on the pole position slot, already down to 4th.
Was there a little puff of tyre smoke between the front wing of Theo Nail there?
Maybe, certainly close. And then as they came down towards Lisboa, Evan Gilter in the wheel tracks, everybody hugging that inside line. You can see the two Pinnacle cars in the background go side by side, but it was Boyer that was able to turn through ahead. Look at the way, though, that Slater comes out of Lisboa with a much bigger gap. And we've had one car go wide at Melco. That's dropped back. We'll come to that in a moment. As Slater is away and gone, isn't he? A dominant first lap. Second is Gilter, third is Boyer, fourth from pole is Nail, in fifth it is Carto, and sixth Enzo Deligny as they come across the line.
So the advantage at the end of lap 1, take a deep breath about this, 1.6 seconds the advantage for Freddie Slater at the end of lap number 1. That is impressive.
It is indeed, and the battle is on for second place, because Evan Gilter is under attack now from Murray Boyer, who's going to have a go on the outside as they go down towards Lisboa. He's got his nose in front, I think, has Murray Boyer, but he's on the wrong line for the corner. Evan Gilter braves it out with him and claims the place again on the inside. Boyer thinks about the inside, Gilter defends on the run to San Francisco.
Super racing as they go through San Francisco. Up the hill they go and on towards the tight and twisty section, up towards Maternity. That's the right-hander and the narrowest part of the circuit now, the mountain section as we sometimes call it here on the gear circuit on Macau, and then into Maternity towards Teddy, the wall on the left-hand side through Teddy onto the Solitude S's, the change of direction that they get now.
This was the opening lap at Melco. You can see the cars diving through, and whoops, a bit of a traffic jam and a bit of a coming together, which has eliminated one of the Wurtzes by the look of it. And we think it might be Oscar Wurtz, who was rather driven into, so he limps off the road. But the good thing is, straight up the escape road, no need to neutralise the race.
Very professional driving that, because natural disappointments are coming together. A car that is stricken, but keeps the car going and keeps it moving up towards that escape road. And that's what the escape road is there for.
Yeah, good man. So sadly, Oscar Wurtz's miserable weekend gets no better. But Freddie Slater, as you say, not only with that amazing lap at the end of the opener, is still building it, because he's doing absolute best. He's in clear air, doesn't have to think about attacking anybody nor defending from anybody. He's just driving his own race. Evan Gilter, though, has got away again from Murray Boyer, hasn't he, here?
And we talked about experience here at Macau and what it counts for. And Freddie Slater has been here before. He knows the various pitfalls that could befall you here at Macau, and knew exactly what he needed to do in this qualification race. Needs to start at the front of the grid, and even better if he starts on pole, and even better if he's sampled the top step of the podium today in the qualification race. Once again, a fastest lap of the race for Freddie Slater, the race leader, 2:17.320 around the gear circuit here at Macau, and that equates to 2.5 seconds ahead of Evan Gilter in second place.
So the margin continues to grow, nearly 2.6 seconds. Slater to Gilter, Boyer in third, Nail in fourth, Carto fifth against Enzo Deligny. And Deligny here looking the white and black car to the outside line. The French driver tries to get up alongside Carto and then dives to the inside, but it's all too late and he has to stand on the anchors to make the corner. Mattia Colnaghi behind in seventh. Eighth is James Igotzi, ninth is Noah Stromstead, and 10th is Rashid Al-Nahari.
They all head up San Francisco Hill now.
They do, but the second and third cars, Gilter and Boyer, fractionally quicker in sector 1 than Freddie Slater. So maybe Slater was really good out of the blocks on cold tyres. Perhaps now, as the others feel a bit more confident on the Pirelli rubber, they might be able to do something about the margin. We'll see.
With almost a 2.6 second advantage at the end of lap 2, one of the really important things for Freddie Slater now is not to make any kind of tiny little error. He's got that little cushion, and that's really good news. Gilter and Boyer very close together between the two of them for second and third places, and yet again Freddie Slater in clean air at the front of the field, able to put in the overall best sectors, sector 2, sector 3. He's got the best lap of the race as well. So far so good for Freddie Slater.
So Slater leading, Gilter second, and here on his own is Freddie Slater. You're looking back and trying to find anybody behind him. This is what 2.5 seconds looks like out of the Macau hairpin. Freddie Slater now in total control of this race, but as Alan rightly says, he's still got to make sure he makes not one single slip. Murray Boyer, in the contrast, is staring at the back of Evan Gilter, and he's not close enough to make a move. We'll see whether the gap comes down though, as the cars now turn their way through Fisherman's Bend down towards R Bend, the last corner on the lap. You're riding with Boyer. The gap is a little reduced, I would offer you.
Let's have a look what happens over the course of this race. We are only completing now 3 laps, and Freddie Slater has once again nailed the sectors. Fastest in sector 2, fastest in sector 3, fastest in sector 4 and sector 5. That now gives him an advantage over Evan Gilter in second place of 3.3 seconds. A fastest lap of the race, 2:16. 7.03 for Freddie Slater. Wow, oh wow, what an advantage, what a cushion.
And Boyer is going to have a go at Gilter on the way to Lisboa. Look, he's got his nose in front on the outside. He tried it last time and it didn't work. He tries to brave it out on the outside, but he needs the undercut coming off the corner and he can't do it. And while they're squabbling, this is playing right into the hands of Freddie Slater, driving off into the distance, but Murray Boyer doing everything he possibly can on the outside line there to have a go and try and gain that place. Great battle between those two, but still the advantage is to Evan Gilter.
And you don't need to try anything desperate, do you, on this race? You can be quite happy with a good starting position for tomorrow's Grand Prix. Cars 9 and 31 noted, causing a collision down there at turn 19. Freddie Slater now with 3 laps completed, an overall fastest lap, and yet again putting in the purples on sectors 2 and 3.
And looking unstoppable right now, especially if Gilter and Boyer are still going to battle. I really would be fascinated to see what Boyer could do were he to get past Gilter, but at the moment the Middle East champion Evan Gilter is being able to fend him off, make sure he can't find a way through. Gilter only took 1 win in the European Championship, but he got 5th by being a good, consistent point scorer. The win came at Misano, which is a very open, very flat circuit. Total contrast on this, and he's really wide into the Macau hairpin that time, and that might give Murray Boyer a chance again, because he'll be even nearer coming through Black Sands.
So down through Black Sands, we quicken up on the run down towards Fisherman's. The circuit opens up. It's the widest part of the circuit ahead of them, and then down towards the pinch point, the overtaking place down at Lisboa, named after the hotel, the Grand Lisboa, which is on the outside of the corner. This the battle for second place. Murray Boyer all over the back of second place Evan Gilter. How close will they be? They complete now 4 laps in the book. Across the line they go. Half a second between the two of them as they cross the beam and already down towards Lisboa. You can see him there in the red and white car. That's the leader. Freddie Slater once again putting in the purple sectors on 4 of the 5 sectors, and this is the run for second place. They absolutely mirror each other. They go side by side on the run down towards Lisboa, on board with Murray Boyer, and through, goodness me, that was close between the two of them on the run down towards Lisboa.
Impressive stuff by Boyer to do it with the advantage of a toe. Impressive that he got the car slowed down for the corner as well, so he's done it. Now Murray Boyer has spent the last 3 laps trying to do that at Lisboa. Straight away he's ahead of Gilter. Don't forget, Murray Boyer started 6th on the grid here, so you can overtake around the Macau circuit. You can make progress on the Macau circuit, and the next target is Freddie Slater. Now Slater has just done another absolute best within sector 2, but Boyer, with clear road ahead of him, might be able to reduce the margin before the end of the race, and this was the move. He got a toe, he came to the outside and was able to go through and cut across the front, claim the line for the corner and get the car slowed down. Boyer does have Macau experience, but that was a very good effort. Now, we're being told that Slater will be investigated after the race for speeding in the pit lane. So although he's leading comfortably, the story is not over.
And that was before the race started,
Correct,
wasn't it?
absolutely, coming
when
to
the
the
pit
grid.
lane was open to do these reconnaissance laps around the circuit, come through pit lane, and then ultimately to take your place up on the grid. That would be incredibly disappointing if there was some kind of penalty. You take the top step of the podium and then you get a penalty for something that happened before the race even started. Can you imagine the disappointment?
I can, but there is a rule book.
Rules are rules.
Now, Mary Boyer getting away from Evan Gilter. His sector times are personal best in 3 and 4. Now that he has been able to break away, doesn't have to think about defending. Impressive pace, this. And there's also going to be post-race Oscar Wirtz being investigated with Charles Leung. It was Leung that made contact with him at the Melco hairpin. That's the other incident we saw early on. Slater's just gone across the line as you ride with Boyer, and he comes up now out of our bend with the margin between them being 5.4 seconds. Even though Murray Boyer has just done his own best lap of the race, Slater's done yet another fastest lap of the race and stretched the gap 5.4 seconds.
With 3 out of a possible 5 overall, 2 out of a possible 5 overall best sectors. Every single lap, Freddie Slater is nailing this lap around the gear circuit here in Macau, helped along by the fact that he has that advantage, 5.4 seconds. He can pick exactly where he needs to be.
Talking about Nail, Theo Nail gets back ahead then of Evan Gilter. He was ahead on the grid, he's ahead on the track now after his duff start. So that is both of the Pinnacle Motorsport cars getting ahead of Evan Gilter, who's fallen back into 4th place. So Boyer second, Nail now third, Gilter, Carto, Deligny to round out the top 6. And in Sector 1 this time, 2/10 pulled back by Boyer on Slater. In Sector 2 this time, 2/10 lost by Boyer. So what he gained, he's given away.
Into the second half of the race already. It's a 10-lap race, this, the qualification race for the Macau Grand Prix tomorrow. And the race tomorrow, 15 laps in prospect. They really are equipping themselves very nicely indeed. Halfway through, Freddie Slater once again in Sector 2 puts in the overall best time in Sector number 2. Nothing particularly to be a headline in Sector 3, although Mary Boyer has just put in an overall best in Sector 3.
Just seen Mathieu Colnaghi there going up the escape road. He tried to get past Enzo Deligny and couldn't stop in time, so exit stage left, and that's going to drop Colnaghi down the order as you look at Theo Nile edging ever closer to Mary Boyer. It does kind of illustrate a good start by Evan Gilter, but also the fact that that car's not as rapid as those that he jumped ahead of on the start, because he's falling now further back in the queue, isn't he, and dropping away. So Slater in the 3rd sector of the lap was caught by Boyer fractionally, who did an absolute best, and then the margin stretched out again in Sector 4. You're looking almost here as though different drivers have their strengths and weaknesses on different sections of the circuit, and the gap last time was 5.4 seconds. We'll see in a moment or 3 whether it's gone up or gone down, because Slater has just broken the beam and doesn't do an improved lap time for the first time in memory. Behind him goes Murray Boyer, and the gap is up 5.7 seconds as Theo Nile, 3rd, does the best lap of the race.
Yeah, and I think Freddie Slater can be very grateful to Evan Gilter for being the cork in the bottle for a good few laps. It's given him that advantage, 5.7 seconds over Murray Boyer in 2nd place, and Freddie Slater was really able to make the most of it. The clear air in front and a big gap behind, which was built every single lap. Will it now come down between Murray Boyer and Freddie Slater? 5.7 seconds at the end of lap number 6. They're on lap number 7. This is only a 10-lap qualification race.
It is indeed, as the cars come to Lisboa. There's Matteo De Palo, who's having a understated time in 12th place, not really making any progress, as we see the gap down in Sector 1 again between Slater and Boyer. But even though it's coming down by the odd 10th here and there, to try and recoup nearly 6 seconds is a pretty Herculean task that faces Murray Boyer. What he does need to be is on the front row of the grid tomorrow, because he will start, if he finishes 2nd, where Slater started today, on the inside. That would therefore give him a good opportunity into Reservoir Bend. There, the Theodore Racing Garage. David Kennedy standing in there as well. It's a regular here with the Theodore Racing team. Now, I thought I'd just seen Theo Nail brush the barrier. He got away with it if he did brush it.
You can't really afford to do that too much here on the gear circuit at Macau. If you get away with it, you are very lucky indeed, and don't do it again.
Yeah, exactly right. So there in the background is Gilter fourth, Taito Kato is still fifth, then Zodelini, who's also got that Damocletian investigation post-race for speeding in the pit lane, he's sixth. And then to round out the top 10, Matthew Kolnagi, James Egotsin, Stromsted and Rashid Al-Daheri. 11th is Tasanapolin Puvasak, and Matteo De Paolo is 12th.
So second and third make their way through the Macau hairpin, down through Black Sands, on towards Fisherman's Bend, and the final turn on the circuit down at R Bend. Car number 30 is being looked at as well for the starting procedure. Something possibly didn't go quite according to plan for the number 30 car. That will be investigated, and we'll see what the result of that is, which will be shown on the timing screen. But meanwhile, we've got just 3 laps to go, because the race leader has been through 7 laps completed now by the top 5. The advantage 5.4 seconds, and car 30 is going to have a 10-second stop and go penalty for an infringement at the start, and that will is the car of Newman Chi in car number 30. So a disappointment there. And meanwhile, the race leader has 2.5 laps to go. And
a margin of 5.4 seconds. So Freddie Slater just has to bring it home really now, doesn't he? It's going to be very, very hard for anybody to catch up that amount of time. So it is Slater from Boyer, Nail from Gilter, then Kato and Deligny to round out the top 6. Matteo De Paolo here comes through, battling with Noah Somstred as the cars turn out of Lisboa. Teo Nail trying to make amends for that not great start, not great first lap, but he's back up into 3rd place, but he'll be 1 row further back on the grid for the Grand Prix than he was today for the qualification race. That's Murray Boyer still hustling on and still being able to find personal best sectors. Trouble is, Freddie Slater is just away and gone up the road. And also, I know it's only the 2nd year we've had Formula Regional cars here, but Prema has so much experience of operating a car around Macau. That also helps Slater no end.
Oh, this is a treat on board with, well, a treat that didn't last for very long, did it? The onboard camera letting us down a little bit there, but I'm sure we'll rejoin Freddie Slater around the streets of Macau with clean air in front. We've had so many great shots, haven't we, from Freddie over the course of yesterday and on Thursday here at Macau. Absolutely superb shots, and when you're out front and you've got an advantage of 5.4 seconds, it's always a bit disorientating when you're riding on board looking back from one of these cars when they go around the Macau hairpin. You get to realise just what a change of direction that is.
Last lap through, Murray Boyer did the fastest lap of the race, so it illustrates that he's got the pace. And as the cars now accelerate down towards our bend, this is the race leader, the dominant Freddie Slater, who did so much of the hard work early on to get away on coldish tyres whilst the battle for second was stuck around Evan Gilter. He now does the fastest lap of the race as the tyres get fully up to temperature, the fuel load comes down. He did a 2:16.064, and 3,000ths quicker has just gone Murray Boyer. The gap is still 5.4 seconds, but Boyer saying I can match your pace, assuming I can get off the line at the same time as you tomorrow and I don't have to get through traffic.
And that's a tantalising prospect, isn't it, with the two of them starting potentially on the front row of the grid. If they're matched on times and they're together on the front row of the grid, can't wait for the Grand Prix here at Macau tomorrow. 15 laps. This is a 10-lap qualification race, and Freddie Slater continues to lead. 1.5 laps remain. Freddie Slater with a best lap of the race of a 2:16.064, 2:16.061 for Murray Boyer. I think that means they're doing pretty even lap times around the gear circuit here at Macau.
So much of tomorrow is going to come down to the start, as Newman Chi has just pitted for his stop-go, incidentally, for doing whatever it was on the grid. I think that is to do with the mechanic, wasn't it, who was still on the track?
Yes.
And because the mechanic was there after the 1-minute board, that's where the penalty comes. So when I said it might bite the team, it has, and it's bitten the driver as well. So Slater leading, Boyer second, Nail third, Gilter, Kato, Deli need to round out the top 6.
But much better that the mechanic was there and got the car started, I reckon, because if it had stalled, then it might have required outside assistance to get going. So you have to make these decisions in a split second, don't you?
Yeah, it almost looked like he ran to make sure something was okay. I don't think he needed to do any work. But anyway, as you say, it might have been that he was needed. So the net result is the car was towards the rear anyway, and it's lost time rather than track position. There is Freddie Slater, very deep into Melco, and stands on the anchors, gets the car hustled round the corner. Murray Boyer likewise going deep, and that little bit of yellow arm coat that sticks around the hairpin, the final part of the barrier, that was clipped by the right rear wheel of a car in the Formula 4 race early on the very last lap. He was just a whisker too tight on the corner It's very, very rare that we've seen anything like that, but it can still attack you, can that barrier, if you're not careful.
Freddie Slater is very soon going to start his final lap in this qualification race here in the early evening sunshine at Macau. It looks beautiful. Very soon the lights of Macau are going to come on and celebrations will happen for Freddie Slater, because he's got to hold it together for one more lap. 9 laps are in the book, one more lap to go. Now, we've seen earlier on here in single-seaters, things do need to be kept very neat and tidy on the final lap of the race. You can almost smell the alcohol-free fizz on the podium. And as you make your way around the circuit on this final lap, keep it neat, keep it tidy. You don't need to put in a fastest lap of the race. Teo Nile is in 3rd place and has just put in a 2:15.999 emergency. There we go. What a fastest lap time to have with Teo Nile on the 3rd step of the podium. Freddie Slater is within sight.
It's going to be a qualifying race win for him at a circuit that has not been kind to Freddie over the years. Teo Nile then has done the fastest lap of the race in 3rd position, illustrating those Pinnacle Motorsport cars have got pace. But so much of Slater's success in this was down at the start. He absolutely launched the car off the line and got a good getaway for the inside into turn 1, pole position on the outside and a length ahead. But Teo Nile will kick himself for a sluggish start. Good drive by Mary Boyer to be 2nd. He had to work hard to get through the traffic to get past Evan Gilter. Nale did the same thing. What Boyer has proved is that he's got pace. He's not been able to reduce the gap to Freddie Slater, but if he can match him off the start down to Lisboa tomorrow, it is going to be a really fascinating Grand Prix. The final lap of a race that has gone drama-free, dare one say. Freddie Slater comes to the Melco hairpin at the end of a really impressive drive. It may only be to set the grid for tomorrow, but he has certainly proved just how good he is around Macau.
And he'll be able to sample the top step of the podium as well, and maybe get an idea of what it might feel like to win the Grand Prix here over 15 laps of Macau tomorrow. But this has been perfect for Freddie Slater up towards the final turn of the circuit and started on the front row of the grid. The win in the qualification race is going to go the way the checkered flag goes for Freddie Slater. He takes the win and his advantage. You can hear the crowd absolutely loving this grandstand finish for 2nd place. Mary Boyer 5.1 seconds behind in 2nd place, and Teo Nile, the pole sitter, with another fastest lap of the race. Boy oh boy, 2:15.561 on that final lap.
I do love the enthusiasm, not just of the crowd, but the man with the checkered flag as well, because not only is it almost launched at the drivers, but he also indicates to the winner that you are P1 and cheers them over the line. All part of the great character of this event. But you're right, Teo Nile on that last lap doing a very impressive lap time, 2:15.5, and those Pinnacle Motorsport cars proving they've got the pace. And without an Evan Gilter-shaped cork for tomorrow's race, it's going to be game on, isn't it?
It certainly is. Quite rightly, they celebrate down in pit lane. That was a great race from Freddie Slater.
Just seen his dad as well in the black T-shirt, Adrian, former Porsche racer, as I said earlier on, omnipresent by Freddie's side. There's another one on the way in Ginetta Juniors, so the Slater dynasty continues. So we might be talking about Slaters for years to come at Macau. Freddie Slater from Murray Boyer and Teo Nile, the top 3 in the qualifying race for the FIA FR World Cup. The grid set then, provisionally, for the Macau Grand Prix, the 72nd Macau Grand Prix.
Enjoyed that. Wow, I think he did it as well. Freddie Slater drove an impeccable race, a pluperfect performance today. That is 2/3 of the distance that we'll enjoy for tomorrow's Grand Prix here at Macau. And maybe we can reflect on what has been a super day here, because the amount of interruptions to the racing that we've had for touring cars, for single-seaters and for GT cars have been very, very few. If you think about the last couple of days of free practice and qualifying that have been challenging for the course workers, for the marshals. And that really is testimony to the fact that we have pro drivers at the top of their game competing on a very challenging circuit. So it's been a great day of racing here at Macau.
2 years ago we had a British winner. That was Luke Browning in the last year of Formula 3 as the Macau Grand Prix category. Can Freddie Slater be this year's victor, the second time that we've had these Formula 3 style, but Formula Regional titled cars. Well, it's going to be a good fight, certainly between him and Murray Boyer and Theo Nail tomorrow. They're the top three provisionally on the grid. The cars making their way back round to the pit lane. The drivers will then go to the podium. The Grand Prix tomorrow, 3:30 local time, prior to which there is the line dance. And a day of racing kicked off with GT cars, GT4, then F4, then touring cars, then GT3 cars. And then after the special event and the line dance, we have the Formula Regional World Cup, the Macau Grand Prix at 3:30 local time.
Into pit lane comes our race winner for the FIA FR World Cup, the Macau Grand Prix. And Freddie Slater makes his way slowly down into pit lane. Oh yeah, I'd forgotten about that. Slowly down into pit lane.
Well,
there's
yes.
still a question mark looming, isn't there?
Yeah,
I forgot that.
Speeding in the pit lane.
Yeah.
So
before the race.
Yeah, on pit exit. They were allowed to drive through the pits, remember, onto the grid. So at some stage, he has been down or been noted for speeding in the pit lane. So the car comes to a halt, and for now, Freddie Slater, on track at least, has done everything that's been asked of him.
And at some stage, I guess he'll be told about that, but not at the moment, because for now, he's going to get out of the car, and no doubt, sample. Oh, hang on, calm, he says, calm. It's the qualification race. Stands on the front of the car and just encourages everybody just to take a step back and be a little bit thoughtful about this. So, congratulations, come. And so too they will for Murray Boyer and Theo Nail as well down in Parc Fermé. Murray Boyer just talking about the exploits of 10 laps around the circuit. I can see Alex down there in the background, and she is lurking with a microphone, so we can be hopeful maybe that we might hear after the drivers have been weighed, might be able to hear from Freddie, maybe Theo and Murray as well. That was a cracking fastest lap of the race, wasn't it, on the final lap for Theo Nail.
Which sort of illustrates more the fact that had he not made that not great start, it could have been a different race. Well, there is Freddie Slater, somewhat dominant victor. Let's hear from the British driver. Alex Legui is down there to talk to our winner.
Freddie, 2024 wasn't your year, but 2025 certainly looks like it might be after what was a stunning qualification race.
Yeah, that was good fun. Obviously, I got a good start, and I said on the grid that was the key factor at that point. And then, yeah, managed to lead going into T3, and then just try and get a read on balance for tomorrow. So we've got an extra 5 laps tomorrow. So we need to know what we need to do overnight to make it even better. But yeah, no, a strong race, and we look forward to tomorrow.
Car obviously feels like it has pace. It certainly looks like it.
Yeah, it's had pace all weekend, and you know the track's getting faster and faster now. The times are coming down with the race runs, and yeah, the track's getting grippy. So it's good fun out there.
Good job, well done. Thank you very much. Let's try and get Murray. We can go with Theo. Murray, let's grab. Yeah. Well done. Good race. P6 to P2. Congratulations.
Yeah, really happy. I knew we had a really good pace from tomorrow. It was a shame because I make a big mistake on my last lap. We were coming super fast. It is true that today has been the first day we have done many laps in a row, and I think for tomorrow we understood what we need to fight for more. The start was really good, so let's focus, and this is not over yet.
Certainly looks like you're in a position that you'll be able to fight. Theo, a frustrating start, but you managed to claw your way back up again. Still puts you in good stead for tomorrow.
Yeah, to be honest, I prefer start second row for tomorrow. With the slipstream, it will help a lot. I need to work on the start for tomorrow. I will see what happens, but yeah, it's seen so many times that I didn't drive this car, so the first start is always a bit tricky. But yeah, quite happy. Fastest lap in the race as well, so yeah, positive for tomorrow.
Yeah, certainly have the pace. Best of luck.
Quite a few things to unpack out of all of that. Theo Nail making the point that he doesn't race these cars regularly, and what Murray Boyer said, absolutely right. They've just done 10 laps in a row. That's the longest uninterrupted running they've had all weekend.
Yes.
So Freddie Slater, the provisional winner of the qualifying race from Murray Boyer and Theo Nail. 4th, Evangile Tertaita Kato. 5th, and Enzo Deligny in 6th. It's Mathieu Kolnagi 7th from James Egotzi, Noah Stromstead. And the top 10 completed by Rashid Al-Daheri. Matteo De Paolo being able to fend off Jose Garfias in their battle for 11th place, ahead of Tasanopol and Thrupivasak. Jin Nakamura 14th from Kanato Lee and Hio Yamakoshi. Tokiya Suzuki was ahead of Yuki Sano, and Charlie Wirtz was 19th from Owen Tangavelu. Fastest lap of the race to Teo Nail, the third-place driver. It was Kiyoshi Umagaki in 21st, ahead of Reza Seaworthen and Charles Lung. Timet Kwarczek 24th from Enzo Ye, who was late off the grid. Newman Chi had a stop-go. Oscar Wirtz, the one retirement on that opening lap, and the race went without a safety car, without a stoppage, without an interruption. Hooray!
What a joy that was. We have had a treat of racing today,
Yeah,
haven't we?
totally.
If we've added up the amount of interruptions over the last couple of days, it has been exactly the opposite of those that we've enjoyed today, because we have had proper races, a chance to have a look back at that start as well. And this was so important, wasn't it, for Freddie Slater? And he knew exactly what he had to do. This was all about where you're going to start for the Grand Prix tomorrow. And he nailed this.
He did indeed. Enzo Ye was the one left on the grid in the background. Everybody scattered around him, and good getaway by Murray Boyer as well, because they came through Reservoir. That's, I think, kind of where Nail came unstuck. He was forced out wide, and it was a bit dirty there. So for the next part of the circuit, he wasn't totally confident. But Murray Boyer was absolutely on it, wasn't he? Trying to squeeze up past Evan Gilter. Had he been able to do it, I think he would have been able to then take the fight to Slater. But Gilter was able to keep him at bay on that run down towards Lisboa, and Freddie Slater hugging the inside line and able to stay ahead. The podium awaits. The drivers will be whisked there shortly, and they will have the trophy presentation. We might be able to hear from the drivers once again as well. But 3:30 tomorrow can't come soon enough now, can it? It's going to be a great Grand Prix.
Absolutely cannot wait. They've had now just an idea of how much this is going to mean tomorrow. 15 laps tomorrow we've got to look forward to, and it's the headline act. It's the final race of the day, and then just a few minutes after we enjoy the celebrations on the podium tomorrow for the Macau Grand Prix, all of a sudden the streets of Macau become once again for another year the streets of Macau.
Presentation ceremony for the Macau Grand Prix FIA World Cup qualifying race. First of all, let's welcome our winning driver to join us on the podium. On the second runner-up, number 6, Théophile Nail from France. On the first runner-up, number 7, Murray Boyer from Spain. And the winner is number 11, Freddie Slater from the UK. Congratulations, drivers. And now may we invite the presenter. Let's give a round of applause to welcome Ms. Oh Lam, Secretary for Social Affairs and Culture of the Macau SAR government and the President of the Macau Grand Prix Organizing Committee, to present the laurel and trophies to the winning drivers. 現在有請澳門特別行政區政府社會文化司司長及澳門格蘭披治大賽車組織委員會主席柯南女士為我哋頒發桂冠及獎杯俾得獎車手。And of course, to the winner, Freddie Slater from the UK. Congratulations! Let's take a group photo together. Please look at the front. Got it? Thank you, and drivers, please remain here. Let's take one more photo. All right, perfect, captured. All right, thank you. Please remain at the current position, and now I'll pass the time to Chris to interview the drivers, please.
Thanks very much. Right, let's get up onto the podium, and we'll start with Teo. Teo, just didn't quite get off the line as you wanted to, and when Freddie got alongside you, looked like you lost a bit of momentum, and it cost you a couple more places.
Yeah, I had to brake, but it was fair play to be honest. Then I had a really good pace the whole race, fastest lap in the last lap, so it seems that it's going all right for tomorrow.
Yeah, fastest 2 laps of the race, the last 2 laps, new lap record. So if you can get a good start tomorrow, you're still in this.
Should be, yeah, I need to work on that and should be good.
Okay, good luck for tomorrow. Let's catch up with Mary in second place. Mary, great job from the 3rd row of the grid. You two were both charging at the second half of the race once you got up there, but Freddie was just a bit too far ahead.
Yeah, first of all, thanks to the whole team. I think we have been doing a really good weekend of adaptation. Yesterday I was a bit frustrated. Felt I had a lot more, but indeed today we got revenge. And the weekend is not over yet. I felt we had a really good pace, and even for tomorrow we can do better steps. I understand better the car, so now we will analyze, and tomorrow we come back stronger.
And you showed last year from the back to, what was it, 7th, that you can overtake here?
Yeah, it is possible. Today we also show it, so yeah, we'll focus on understanding a bit more the car, and tomorrow is a new race.
Okay, good luck. Well done today, Freddie. Well done. What a few years you're having. 3rd time at Macau. This place kind of owes you a podium. You've had a bit of bad luck here in the past, so great effort by you all weekend long.
Yeah, it's going our way a little bit more now, but no, honestly, we're doing an amazing job as a team. You know, the consistency is a lot better. I'm understanding the car after a full season in this category, so it's all to play for tomorrow. Obviously, they're very fast behind as well, but then there's a long straight to C3, which should be good fun tomorrow afternoon, and I look forward to it.
What's the toughest part of this track? Is it the high-speed stuff at the start through Mandarin and down to Lisboa, or is it in the middle of the circuit where you've got the S-bend section?
I think generally it's just not getting complacent when driving around. I think it's quite easy to back off too much and try and then it bites you, you know, and especially with all the GTs and all the other categories going around, the track is quite dirty now, so there's one line, and if you're not on it, you're in the wall. So yeah, it's always good fun driving around Macau, especially when it's like this.
Well, brilliant job. Well done today. Well done, guys. Good luck for tomorrow. Our top 3. Give them a round of applause.
Congratulations once again to all the winning drivers. And with that note, this also concluded today's races. Thank you once again for joining us, and we look forward to seeing everyone tomorrow.
So, great day here at the gear circuit at Macau. Freddie Slater does an exceptional job to win the qualification race for the Macau Grand Prix, the FIA FR World Cup. But the story continues on day 4. We'll see you tomorrow.
Welcome to the race winners press conference from the Macau Grand Prix FIA FR World Cup qualification race. We have our top 3 finishers here. Race winner Freddie Slater, second Mary Boyer, and third Teo Neal. Congratulations to all 3 of you.
歡迎大家嚟到第72屆澳門格蘭披治大賽車澳門格蘭披治大賽國際汽聯 FR 世界盃選拔賽嘅賽後記者會。首先我哋講起台上面嘅3位車手，佢哋分別係第1位史雷特、第2位保亞同埋第3位內爾。
Freddie, congratulations, a dominant performance out there. If we go back to the kind of the critical opening phase of that race, a great start from the front of that rundown. How are you kind of managing that, and did you notice if Mary actually touched you when he came through with that impressive slipstream?
Yeah, like we've all been saying, the start into T3 is the most critical point of the race pretty much. Obviously, I know they managed to pass Evan during the race, but it's not really that normal sometimes. And yeah, the start was crucial. I had a really good start. Yeah, and then from there on, you're trying to manage the slipstream and trying to see where to block people out and make sure they're not getting a too big of a run. And Evan was like obviously alongside me as well, so it was kind of two cars in the middle. So at the end of the day, it kind of blocks the people behind out. So it's quite hard for them to attack with the slipstream. But I looked in my mirror. Mary was quite far away. I looked again, and he was literally on my rear wing. So yeah, the slipstream is pretty powerful here, and it always makes the racing good fun.
剛才第一位小雷特有分享咧，其實佢認為由起步啦去到第三彎嘅呢一段路咧，其實非常之重要嘅。咁佢喺完成咗呢一部分嘅路段之後咧，咁佢開始保持自己嘅速度啦。咁其實對手嘅攻勢都好強勁，佢見到上一下見到對手其實仲喺好後啦，到之後再望嘅時候，其實對手已經追到好前，所以佢覺得競爭都係好激烈嘅。
You got your head down and built up around a 5-second lead over the first few laps. While Mario was up to second. After that, how hard is it kind of managing the pace when you've got a buffer? Because obviously, if you back off too much, actually you make a risk of having mistakes and getting it all wrong.
Yeah, I think there's a fine line between not pushing and pushing. When you don't push, there's mistakes definitely going to creep in, especially on a street track like this. So it's important just to maintain the rhythm, you know, keep ticking off the laps, keep ticking off the corners. Like we were saying earlier, is the GTs, and there's a lot of rubber down there now, but then offline it's very dirty. So it's quite a fine line between getting it right and getting it wrong now, which is very interesting, especially for us, and it's always good fun. But yeah, it's just about getting in the rhythm around here and then just keep ticking off the laps.
而佢亦都補充到咧，其實喺東望洋跑道上面作賽咧，佢覺得保持佢作賽嘅嗰個步伐啦，同埋速度咧係非常之重要嘅，因為其實每一個路段佢嘅挑戰都唔一樣啦，所以佢覺得保持翻自己嘅速度係最正確嘅做法。
Mary, congratulations on second. You're obviously a bit frustrated yesterday after qualifying, but a near perfect start. How did that play out, and were you surprised by that slipstream that could have potentially carried you past Freddie if you'd had some space?
Thank you. I'm quite happy, to be honest. It was a good comeback from yesterday. Last afternoon was a bit tough for me. I made a mistake where, well, I was really surprised about the mistake I made. It was a super good lap. But yeah, it's on a strict track, it's Macau, so this is possible. So today I had really clear I wanted a revenge, and since the start I felt I was really on it, this race. I think for tomorrow as well, as a team, we understand a lot about the car. I know what to ask to my engineer to maybe potentially be slightly a bit quicker and being more comfortable on the limit, because today the last laps were a bit tricky for me. But the beginning of the race was really strong, so happy about the race and also the conclusions we take for tomorrow.
咁排第二嘅保亞咧，都對自己喺今日攞到第二位嘅成績表示都幾滿意啦。因為其實佢尋日喺排位賽裏邊咧，都犯咗一個佢自己都冇諗過會犯嘅錯誤嘅。咁今日佢覺得由起步開始咧，感覺已經非常之好，同埋因為自己好了解自己嘅賽車啦，同埋同工程師溝通得都非常之好啦。咁好開心可以攞到第二位嘅。
How hard was it judging the level of risk to take in those opening laps when you're fighting for second place? Because I think twice you're alongside onto the way into Lisboa, but I think you kind of took the cautious route to make sure you could get through before you finally got past.
The thing is that I'm not used to race with these drivers. I'm a bit older than them, so yeah, I don't know really well how to fight with them because I don't know how aggressive they are. So I need to always take a look, like talk on the door, and then see what's next. I knew I had the pace. I was following pretty easy Gilles Terre, so I just see where was my strongest points, and when I see it clear, I went for it. So yeah, I'm happy about the race, and tomorrow, let's see.
而佢亦都補充到咧，其實佢 喺賽事嘅過程當中咧，都係保持住一來喺度觀望緊對手嘅狀態啦，二來咧亦都係發掘自己喺賽道上邊嘅強項啦，而且有機會嘅時候咧就發動攻勢嘅。
Teo, well done on third place. The critical moment obviously came at the start. I think slightly slower away than Freddie, and then it appeared you got on the dirt coming round turn one and kind of had to back off, and that lost you position. Can you just talk through that moment?
Well, for sure, my start was not ideal. It's since a long time that I didn't drive this car, so to get used to the clutch was a bit hard, to be honest, this weekend, but should be good for tomorrow. I will work on it. I will check the data. And yeah, for sure, I was on the outside 41, so it didn't help. I had to brake, but then the pace during the whole race was really good. Was able to improve the 2 last laps, even the track record, I think. So yeah, car is feeling good, and I'm positive for tomorrow.
第3位嘅內爾咧就表示，其實佢嘅起步咧係做得未如理想嘅，因為佢已經有一段時間冇駕駛過一架 FIA 嘅賽車啦，咁所以都喺適應當中。咁但係縱觀成個比賽嚟講咧，佢覺得自己嘅步伐都好好啦，咁係好期待聽日嘅賽事嘅。
It's a longer race tomorrow, and time management's going to come into it. How do you feel, and how different is the race going to play out tomorrow?
Well, I think there is lack of bite in the brakes as well. For sure, there is the tires who will need to manage, but I think that I have a good approach for tomorrow on that. I know what to improve on the car as well, like Mary with my engineer. So let's see tomorrow how it goes. But yeah, if we see the pace of today, should be fine.
佢亦都補充到咧，佢相信聽日嘅賽事應該係一場硬仗啦。咁但係佢覺得自己應該係有一個唔錯嘅策略，同埋同自己嘅工程師嘅溝通都非常之好。只要佢可以保持到今日嘅攻勢嘅話咧，佢相信聽日嘅賽事應該都冇問題嘅。
Okay, any questions for our top three?
開放現場提問。
Michael Butterworth, Xinhua. To all 3 drivers briefly, the list of Macau Grand Prix winners is long and illustrious with many names who've done great things in motorsport. What would it mean for you guys on an individual level and for your future career progression to be able to say that you're a Macau Grand Prix winner?
Yeah, you know, you look at the history of who has won this race is incredible. You know, those people have gone on to do amazing things, and to hopefully be one of them drivers in that list would be a dream come true. It's always been a race that I've looked up to. Even 5-7 years ago when I was younger, you know, watching the Macau Grand Prix was one of the greatest things to watch at the end of the year. So honestly, I just love being here. I want to be back again next year if that in something. And yeah, it's just a great race to be a part of, and hopefully we can get the job done tomorrow.
I go. Yeah, I mean, we love to win, as everyone. I mean, we come here for this. This place is just amazing. Everyone knows how difficult it is to be fast in here. You need to be precise, always fast and in control of the car. I feel it's the most important thing a driver needs to have nowadays, and people are looking this. So for that, it's really important, this race. And I know tomorrow I will push to my best to win it.
Well, and for me, for sure, this track is one of the hardest ones so far. I think if you are able to be quick here, you can be quick everywhere in the world. So, yeah, for sure, Grand Prix on Sunday, it's always something special for all the drivers. So let's see how it goes, and if we can be on the top step of the podium, can be amazing.
Any more questions?
Yeah, thanks. It's Michael Milker from Feeder Series. Question for all 3 of you. You've had now 3 days at this circuit. What are the biggest things that you can take away as you approach street circuits in your main campaigns next year, F3, F2, or wherever that may be?
Hard to say, because this one's very, very different to everywhere else, especially, well, I haven't driven Monaco yet, but I don't think anywhere can compare like this, but I think it's more the approach. I think to have that balance between pushing on entry compared to exit, that sort of approach and how you drive a street track is completely different. And it's also how you build through the weekend. It's not like you can go out in FP1 and go full guns blazing. You have to take your time. You need to get the confidence in yourself and in the car.
However, if you go to a track that's open, normal tracks, that you can then push a lot harder earlier on. So I think it's really good lessons for my future and all the future of the drivers in the race this weekend.
Yeah, I feel the most important thing I take from this weekend is all the experience. It is a weekend that we drive the most. We drive the most, and it's a good way to learn and try different approaches. So, yeah, I mean, all the kilometers we have done this weekend are a lot compared to a normal, let's see, F3 weekend. Yeah.
Well, yeah, this track you have to push yourself to the wall. You have to be in the limit, on the limit every time, especially on braking. That's where you can find some time. So just lap after lap, you are getting confidence, and you could push more and more every lap. So yeah, like Mary said, we had a lot of mileage this weekend compared to an F3 weekend. So I think it's really helpful for a driver, and yeah.
Okay, any more questions? No? Good. Thank you very much. Congratulations. And if you can pose for a photograph, that'll be fantastic. Thank you.
It was great. It was actually borderline a little bit of a boring race. I was really looking forward to a nice battle with my teammate there, and I knew Erno would be fast in the race as well. I just got away on the first lap. I tried to get my head down. I know we had some strong pace in qualifying, but the race is always a different thing. And also I knew Pete would be strong towards the end of the race. I know he likes the tyres that he's on, and he always comes strong, but just tried to get my head down from the beginning and put in a couple of half-decent laps, but got that gap pretty much straight away, and then just basically manage it for the rest of the race. The only thing I'm disappointed about is I didn't realise we'd get so close to the lap record. I felt like I was riding way off the lap record, so because we were so close, I'm disappointed. I wish I knew the lap time, and then I'd pushed a little bit more maybe to get the lap record. But hey, it's we're not here for lap records. We're here to win races, and we did just that. So really proud of mine and Pete's whole 810 racing team by Zico here at Macau, and there's so many people that go into getting us here, and we're really appreciative of all of our sponsors to get us out here. So thanks to all them, and this is for them.
好，歡迎大家嚟到第72屆澳門格蘭披治大賽車、澳門格蘭披治電單車第57屆大賽正賽嘅賽後記者會。我哋台上面呢有前3位車手啦，分別係冠軍得主陶德、第2位嘅克爾文啦，同埋第3位嗰個達摩嘅。咁剛才陶德咧都同我哋分享，佢好開心啦，可以攞到比賽嘅冠軍啦。佢喺比賽嘅第一圈呢，其實佢覺得做得都好好嘅。咁之後就開始專注喺同後車拉開個距離啦，尤其是係佢知道克爾文其實係喺比賽嘅越去到後面咧，佢嘅攻勢咧都會越強勁嘅。咁佢知道自己其實個圈速咧同東望洋跑道電單車嘅圈速紀錄係非常之接近啦，但係好可惜未能夠打破。但係佢都係對今次攞到冠軍咧表示非常之開心嘅。佢好多謝車隊啦同埋贊助商。
Peter, early on it looked like it was going to be a great battle with Erno, but then it became quite a lonely second place for you today.
Yeah, a little lonely second place in the end. Do you know what? I made a really good start. I was actually second into turn 1, which I was really happy with. And then had a really small, weird technical issue with the bike where it wouldn't shift properly in the first kind of lap or so. It cleared itself after that. It was absolutely fine. But for the first lap, I kept having to roll the throttle to actually change gear, which obviously wasn't expecting. And Erno managed to... Yeah, maybe. Yeah, just my big, clumsy hands and feet, maybe. But yeah, so Erno managed to obviously drag me to turn 2. And then, to be honest, I got a little bit scared behind Erno. He was, I like Erno a lot. He's a great rider, and unfortunately, he was a little bit excited in the first 2 laps. Made a lot of really big mistakes, and really fortunate he's got away with it. But it really kind of scared me more than anything, and I rolled right back off because if around here we have no room, and obviously if he'd gone down, I was going down with him. So I backed off a little bit, and fortunately for me, he stayed on, but he went straight on at Lisboa, and that gave me a clear track. But by which point I think Davey was already probably 4 seconds up the road or something. He was a long way away, but I got my head down. Felt really good and comfortable. I'm really happy to have done a 24.0. A lot faster than qualifying. I've shown that I've actually still got the pace. I need to work on myself now over this winter period to get the stamina back. I've got the strength, I just haven't got the stamina. So I can do the good laps for 1 or 2 laps, but that's about it. So I need to work on myself a lot over this winter to get myself back to where I should be. But to echo what Davey said, fantastic for the Zico BMW Motorrad team. Obviously, we have BMW here as well. Monster Energy, Wolf Oil, Appleby as well. They have the local Hong Kong depot. It's been brilliant for all them guys and girls to be here, and for us to give them a 1-2 is absolutely fantastic. And a big thanks to Dunlop Tyres as well, who helped me out a lot for this weekend. So it's been big thanks all round, and really happy that we have a 1-2 for the team.
好，咁亞軍得主黑
Good luck remembering that.
亦都表示咧，佢覺得自己喺比賽嘅時候咧，佢嘅起步係做得非常之好啦。去到第1號彎嘅時候咧，其實已經係喺第2位㗎啦。咁但係因為之後遇到一啲技術上嘅問題咧，咁導致佢喺第1圈咧，尤其是係需要作出一啲調整嘅。咁對手亦都非常之強勁啦。咁喺成個比賽過程當中咧，佢都覺得非常之刺激同埋激烈嘅。咁佢好開心自己可以喺正賽裏邊刷出2分24.072嘅圈速啦。好多謝車隊同埋贊助商啦，亦都好高興咧，可以為車隊咧同陶德一齊攞到1-2嘅成績嘅。
No, coming to you, 3rd place today. Congratulations. But it sounds like you had quite an eventful early part of that race.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, 2-3 laps is the race. Me pushing hard and behind Peter, and yeah, stupid mistake is breaking point Lisboa, and race is the lost. But it's now very happy to results, and very happy, and me best lap record for me.
而第3位嘅哥達摩咧都表示，其實佢喺賽事前嘅2-3圈啦，做出嘅圈速都唔錯啦，都可以好努力咁樣追上陶德嘅速度啦。咁就好可惜自己喺之後喺葡京灣嗰度有少少嘅失誤啦，導致就失去咗呢個競爭嘅位置啦。咁但係最後咧攞到第3都非常之開心嘅。
And finally, Davey, a great way to end 2025. A fantastic Macau Grand Prix win. Back next year, that just a tenth of a second on that throttle.
Yeah, I'm honestly already looking forward to getting back out there. I almost wish we had a couple of races, you know. It'd be nice to get a few more sessions here. We come halfway around the world to get like 3 sessions. So we did practice, qualifying, and a race, and that's it. So it'd be nice to do a few more laps. I know the fans love the bikes and stuff. I hope we all put on a great show for everybody. And yeah, as I say, I'm looking forward to getting back next year. Obviously, depends on a lot of factors, on sponsors and everything else. But I think me and Pete both want to be back, and he's probably looking for a bit of redemption. So I think we'll be looking forward to a good battle next year.
而最後陶德亦都表示咧，佢都好期待，如果下年可以有機會嘅話咧，都可以重新嚟到澳門啦，繼續參賽啦，同埋好希望咧下年可以有更加多嘅比賽嘅時間啦，令佢可以喺賽場上邊咧繼續發揮嘅。
Well, congratulations to our top 3. In 3rd place, racing for inclusion by RVS, Erno Costomo. 2nd, for Zico BMW Motorrad, Peter Hickman. And now a 2-times Macau Grand Prix winner for Zico BMW Motorrad, Davey Todd.
再次恭喜3位車手。好，歡迎大家嚟到第72屆澳門格蘭披治大賽車澳門路車挑戰賽正賽嘅賽後記者會。Welcome to the post-race press conference of the 72nd Macau Grand Prix Macau Road Sport Challenge。首先我恭喜台上面嘅3位車手啦，佢哋分別係第1名嘅盧卓賢、第2名嘅巴打華高同埋第3名嘅梁景希。 We have with us on stage today the top 3 winners. They are finishing first. We have Lo Check-in, second Balanimo Balarako, and we have third 梁慶熙。我哋想問一問盧卓燕先啦。其實見到比賽過程當中有黃旗出事啦，其實都前方都比較混亂嘅。見到你咧都 hold 得住個 pace 啦，可以 keep 住嗰個進度啦，咁同埋避開晒所有事故，最後可以攞到冠軍。想問一問你嘅參賽嘅呢個過程同埋心情。
咁我今日比賽之前係一啲都唔緊張嘅，因為我就係諗緊今晚點交功課呢個教授。係嘅，咁最主要係起步起得比較好，跟住守住後邊嗰部6號嘅車嘅，跟住就保守啲入東方灣，跟住早啲剎車入呢個葡京灣，因為葡京灣比較危險嘅地方啦，因為好多車手都想爭位置啦。咁去到第一個圈咧，就真係好似2、3部車撞咗出去，跟住我就排咗喺好似11號車後邊，我好似上咗去第3名，跟住就安全車。跟住我就見到，咦，前面好似冇乜車咯喎，應該都有機會守得住喎。同埋今場比賽得9個圈，所以個圈數唔係好多。咁去到 restart 嗰時啊，中國希同埋前邊頭車就好似有啲失控啦。我去到最尾嗰隻彎就過咗佢哋頭，跟住就一直 keep 住喺呢個位置嘅。咁去到好似最尾第4定第3個圈，就有 restart， 跟住我就預測會鬥到尾嘅，但係估唔到就有嚟一次嘅accident， 咁就安全車帶到尾嘅，咁都係今場車都係靠運氣，係同埋自己上路都冇出錯。只不過可能少少甩尾咯，有啲彎就係，同埋我去到臨入交叉彎都擦到嘅頭崩白嘅，睇到太多位嘅，係啊。
好，咁我哋都想問一問第2同埋第3位嘅2位車手啦。其實咧，你哋喺起步嘅時候都係喺賽事比較中段嘅位置起步嘅，最後咧可以上到頒獎台啦。都想問下你哋嘅感受。
其實因為 qualify 咧就做得唔係咁好啦，俾啲車頂住咗啦，就做唔到一個好啲嘅時間，所以個排位就排到都17位啦，都算後嘅。不過我一直都冇放棄咯，因為我相信澳門跑道咧，即係澳門東望洋跑道咧，就個變化會好大。咁最緊要自己好清晰睇前邊發生咩事，亦都好保守擋住後邊啲車，即係要102% 去投入去呢場車。咁另外都係睇運氣㗎啦，即係點快都好，你冇運氣嘅咧，你始終都上唔到頒獎台。唔該。
咁我就同巴拿華哥差唔多位置起步啦，一起步佢又過咗我嘅，咁我一直跟住前輩後邊，佢又好似幫我開路咁咯，咁一直都好穩定，咁跟住佢就無啦啦就第一次安全車就覺得，咦，點解自己好似上到好前嘅位置啊？之後再起步又見到有好多意外，之後無啦啦就變咗第3名啦，咁就一直好穩定咁完賽，同埋我哋澳門車手得10個唔到對抗香港8個好似係咪？咁多車手，而最後頒獎台係我哋3個澳門人，我覺得我哋係好犀利嘅。多謝大家。
Okay, a quick summary of what our winners have just shared. Starting with our winner, Lo Check-in. The goal of his goal is to finish the race, of course, so he didn't feel too nervous to begin with. So starting from the start of the race, he did a pretty good one, and he could hold the position and also the cars behind him. Then as the race got interrupted with several safety cars, he also got up and promoted into the front row. And then towards the last 2 laps, there's a restart, so he kind of expected to have fierce competition during that period. But also, unfortunately, the safety car got the race finally ended with a safety car. He's very happy with his results. And then we have Badarako. He said he didn't do too good in the qualifying session, so he started from the 17th. But of course, because you're on the Macau gear circuit, anything can happen. So he didn't give up, and he kept his pace, stayed focused, fully concentrated, and of course, with a bit of luck, so he finished second, and he's very happy with his results as well. Third, we have Leung King Hei. He said he's very happy that he could follow the cars in front and with his pace. And the first and second safety car, he got to the front row step by step, and he's also very happy and would like to emphasize that this is actually a podium with all racing drivers from Macau. So congratulations to everyone. Now we open the floor for questions. 而家開放現場提問。好。If we don't have any questions, then this is the end of the press conference. Again, congratulations to our winners. Can we please stand up for a group photo, please? Thank you.